Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Hello and welcome back. I am your slightly more flustered host, Justin D. Morgan. That's the last time I am going to try to unplug USB devices while streaming. Yeah, famous last words. Of course, my webcam now is all out of focus because reasons. The restart was all because I dared to unplug the webcam. There we go. I should be a little bit more in focus. I'm probably going to get a new webcam. Ah, yeah, Jack says your audio sounds great at least. All right, well, let me post this last new link to social media here, and then we will continue on about where I left off. At least the audio's better. All right. Looks like we have a few people back, and I guess if folks are looking for the stream, well, hopefully they'll see my new link in social media. So, yeah, all right. Where did we leave off? All right. We left off with the Apple IIe. I got the VGA cable in. Kind of wobbly. I don't think it's going to touch the power supply. Kind of thinking that maybe I should mount it the other way just in case. Gutbomb says, I recently switched to the Elgato Facecam, and I'm pretty impressed with it. Adam says, I'm going to make a stream using my 480i cam. Well, it might actually be more reliable. Jack says, I got a Facecam Pro, and it seems super nice so far. Well, Jesse says, the iPhone 7 makes an adequate camera along with a no-name webcam. Well, I don't have an iPhone 7. I actually don't have a spare iPhone to even use temporarily because Facecam Pro would be nice, but it's expensive. Yeah. Well, given the my low tip jar right now, I'm gonna have to make do with the webcam I have, because actually the sound issue should be unrelated to the webcam, but the way I have sound configured in OBS is probably wrong, which is probably why resetting the webcam usually works, although when the webcam decides it's not going to play ball at all, then whatever. So, yeah, I don't have a spare iPhone. The one spare iPhone I had, the battery, went all Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and that was pretty much the end of that iPhone. So, Jesse says, my supply of end-of-life iPhones dried up since he left the casino job. Yeah. I would use an old iPhone if I had a spare iPhone, but the only spare iPhone I had, the battery went Stay Puft, and, well, that was pretty much the end of using that phone for anything. It's kind of one of those, one day the battery was fine, and the next day it was like screen broken puffy. Alright, so let me go ahead and put the Garrett's Workshop memory card in. Well, Continuity cam only supports one iPhone. Well, I don't really want to use my main iPhone as a camera. Well, it needs a new battery for one. Alright, so I just took the vintage memory card out of the Apple IIe, and I'm going to put the Garrett's Workshop one in, which helpfully they do have it labeled. This side faces power supply, so as long as you read, you should be good. What cam is everyone using for their Amscope microscope? Oh, well, I don't have an Amscope microscope, but I'm using a Raspberry Pi Zero based webcam solution on my generic microscope that looks like an Amscope, but is not an Amscope, and the vendor of my microscope's webcams are like really awful. Not that Amscopes win awards. All right, so got the Garrett's Workshop memory card in. We got the A2 Vidya in. Yeah, I spared no expense for cotton swabs. And by the way, these were actually made in the USA, so I think they were probably made by, well, someone that makes cotton swabs in the US. Yeah, Amscope's cameras are ridiculous. I did actually try to use an Amscope camera with this microscope that I have, and the focus on the camera port on this camera, the microscope I have, which is not an Amscope, uh, the focus is different, so the Amscope one didn't work. Adam says, my new 3D printer has a webcam built into it. I didn't know that before I bought it. Well, that's potentially cool. Yeah, there are a bazillion models, and most of them don't do normal video frame rates. Yeah, I'm using a Raspberry Pi Zero on the Raspberry Pi camera, and it's running. I don't remember what software it's running. Let me go to GitHub real quick. All right, it's an open source project. I'll look it up real quick because it actually works decently, and you could probably do this with an Amscope as well. I'll have to go look up the part number for an adapter that I have to use on my scope. Interestingly enough, it's an adapter from Amscope, which is like, yeah, kind of one of those weird things that I'm using an adapter from Amscope to be able to use the Raspberry Pi camera on my non-Amscope camera, but it's like an Amscope CCD camera adapter, and it actually lets you focus. It lets you tune the focus of the attached camera. Don't know if Amscope still sells them though. That's the only problem. But I'm looking for the name of the camera software. Show me webcam. It hasn't been updated in a while, but I think the last the last version they released seems to be pretty stable. Oh, good night, Frank. So yeah, that's the software my Raspberry Pi camera is that I'm using to use the Raspberry Pi camera on my stereo microscope. All right, so let's check to see if this spicy cap is shorted. Nope, it looks good. All right, we're probably good to plug this in. If you remind me, I'll look up the part number of that adapter. All right, so let's put the Z80 card into slot 4. There we go. And now I'm going to plug the floppy emu into the floppy controller. I am going to let's see here. I'm going to actually use the VGA output. Because why not? Just have to find the video cable. I will also turn this to make it a little easier for me to type on it at the appropriate time, but it is right now tuned for optimum getting fooled by the tantalum cap on the Microsoft card positioning. All right, and let me switch. So I'll power it up with the overhead view, and then I will switch to the capture card. So, anyway, if anything goes smokety smoke, then, well, you'll see it. 3, 2, 1. All right, that looks good. All right, I am in Apple II emulation mode. That is good. Oh, let's go to capture input. Oh. Well, apparently... Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. I'm getting dumped out to the monitor. All right. Well, I've been having trouble with my floppy emu. So this could be... Well, this could actually be a problem because I don't have discs for the SoftCard 80. I was going to use disk images. All right, let's make sure I can actually boot from a real floppy disk. I do have an... Luckily, I did bring over an Apple floppy drive. I believe the problem probably was the floppy emu, considering the real floppy drive worked. All right. So, okay, that's about what I expected, although I was kind of hoping Computer Inspector might see this soft card, but probably doesn't surprise me. All right, let's run a RAM memory test. Because I did have a little trouble here. I think Computer Inspector is only going to support like 2 megabytes of the RAM, but my floppy emu is it's like I had trouble getting it to boot last time I used it. Something's weird with it. I need to email Big Mess of Wires. because every time if I would plug the floppy emu as the second floppy drive and then run a disk test on it, it's going to be running at like the wrong rotation speed. I think my floppy emu is broken. But the thing is, it's not like whatever's wrong with it, it's not like broken to the point that it doesn't work, but something's just not right with it. Adam says one of my floppy emus decided that it destroys SD cards that I put in it. Well, this floppy emu is not running at the right disk speed. Okay, well. Oh. Yeah, it could be it's probably a software issue. I just need to email them though because they've they've put out new firmware versions since I've first started noticing the issue, and none of them have fixed it. So I really need to remember to email them because I think I've managed to find a bug in the firmware, which doesn't surprise me. I'm a test engineer. I kind of like have a knack for finding bugs in firmware. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm running the latest firmware on it. Okay, but I think my Apple IIe is working, but there's the slight problem of all right, let me see if maybe I can get the floppy emu to. I don't know. Maybe I just need to get a different floppy drive emulator, but I don't know which one to get because it seems like everyone will give a different answer. All right, maybe my computer inspector disk image is corrupted. Okay, that might be maybe my computer inspector disk image is corrupted. Because that was the floppy emu and that was the DOS 3.3 master. And that booted. So that's the ProDOS disk. Yeah, there we go. ProDOS seems to be working. Okay, maybe it's my computer inspector disk. Although maybe my computer inspector disk image, although maybe the floppy emu is having issues as well, but yeah. Oh. Yes, I want to quit system utilities. All right. It's DOS but Pro, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I have two computer inspector images on this floppy emu. The first one is corrupted. The second one is not. Yeah, Javier's Flappy Emu 2 does look cool. Huh, okay. It works. Alright. So maybe the Flappy Emu isn't totally borked. Now, Adam got the case yesterday, but need to order the screen for it. Yeah, I'll probably just stick with the Flappy Emu and its existing form factor. I mean, I might try another device. I'd prefer something that you just plug into the floppy port and that doesn't require you to install an extra card. Maybe because I'm being overly picky. That way I can just plug it into a computer and go, and I don't have to, like, install extra cards. Alright. I need to download the software for this card because I hadn't had a chance to do it yet. Alright. Well, hmm. Well, I found it the other day. Alright, hold please while I try to find the software for it, because, well, I had eyes on it the other day, but by golly. Beats me where it is now. Alright, please continue to hold. Because apparently, despite the fact that I found the software the other day, well, the software is hiding today. Oh, there we go. There we go. Here we go. I think here it is. So I got the Microsoft SoftCard CPM Disk 1, Microsoft SoftCard CPM Disk 2, and then Microsoft SoftCard CPM System Disk. Okay, maybe that's it. Apple II stuff, 5 1/4 inch games, or utilities. Let's see here, downloads. Unfortunately, I don't think the Flappy Emu is going to like the one of the images. All right. Oh, actually, it just dawned on me. Let me make sure I haven't misplaced it first. Oh, wait. Never mind. Nope. Yeah, fooled myself. I was about to say, I was about to let Gut Bomb know I think I found the SD card reader you sent me, but no. Oh, wait. Is that it? No, I don't think that's it. I found one on my desk, but I don't remember if that's the one Gut Bomb sent me or not. Because I think I've got a couple floating around here. Okay, I have the disk images on the floppy emu. It's probably gone forever, at least until I manage to uncover it. It's all right. Um. Okay. This is just weird. That's all Microsoft. That's all I get. Oh, we can run directory. Well, that's interesting. There's this light on the CPM card, and I thought it would be on when I was booted into CPM. But it seems like it's only blinking like when it's actually accessing the disk. Huh. Oh, Gut Bomb says that's the one. It's not gone forever. Okay, well, I found it, Gut Bomb. I found it. I'll put it in my drawer for safekeeping until I misplace it again. Jack says, just looked at disc 2 prices on eBay. Lol, seriously. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Okay, so here's the weird thing. So, I got the Z-80 card working. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I've got CPM running. Uh, I don't know what's on the other disc. Not much. All right, what's on the third disc? Huh. Okay, so there's 3 discs, and it looks like the. Yeah, there we go. I'm running CPM. I obviously have like no CPM specific software to run. I actually Adam says I got CPM running and I said yay, and then I went back to playing Load Runner. Yeah, that's about where I'm at right now. Except maybe I'm gonna pull the 2CI and replace its video chip. Let's do one thing though. Okay, so I just turned off the 2E. I'm gonna go grab a card. And now it's time for not Wheeler regrets. Okay, so I, for some silly reason, had bought this Microsoft Z-80 card because I wanted a Microsoft Z-80 card to put in my 2E. But the thing is, this is not the first CPM or Z-80 card for the Apple II that I had. Because if you will think back to when I bought Computer and we first looked at it on stream, this card was in Computer. Now, the thing is, Computer did not have an 80 column card, so I had no way of testing this card until today. Although, I don't know if this will work with the Microsoft software or not. I'm presuming it probably will because it's probably a clone of the Z-80 card. But anyways, Jack says that's the MasterCard. Oh, yeah. Jack remembers it. Yeah. It's the MasterCard. Uh, because of those two stickers that are on it. Yeah, it's the MasterCard. All right, this card might not, it might not work. But Adam says that looks like a clone of the Applied Engineering Z-80 card. Okay, so if it doesn't work with the Microsoft software, then I'll go get the Applied Engineering Z-80 software. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, well, it didn't blow up. Oh, there we go. And it looks like it's doing things. Because it'd be too easy to run basic from the Apple II. Of course. We got to run basic from the CPM on the Apple II so that we have only 26K free. Adam says, how much memory does it say you have? Well, when I booted into CPM, it said I had 56K. So now when I'm running Microsoft Basic, it says I have 26K free. It would make more sense for me to just boot into DOS 3.3 and have probably 40 some K free. But whatever. All right, my clone Z-80 card that was in Computer works. So if I manage to get a nice 80 column card for Computer, assuming I ever get Computer working, I can put a Z-80 card in it. Adam says you can get patches so it will see more than the base 64K. Cool. I'll have to look into that. In fact, actually, I wonder, because you said it looked like the Applied Engineering Z-80 card. Oh, wow. Apple2.org.za has, like, all sorts of Z-80 card stuff. Alright, let's see if we can find the actual software for this clone Z-80 card. Because, especially if it came from Applied Engineering, it might already be patched. Alright, so there's a photo of the... Oh, yeah. Well, Adam was spot on. That looks like... That looks like this is a clone of that card. For sure. Yeah, that's uncanny. That is. I guess whoever cloned the cards maybe thought that cloning Microsoft's card was too obvious, so they decided, oh, well, we'll just clone Applied Engineering. Although it's not like an exact clone. In fact, yeah, it looks like whoever made the card might have made some mistakes, because kinda looks like they did some rework on the card. But yeah, that there we go. So there's the photo. Yeah, Adam says there's tons of Microsoft clones too. I would say that while the photo of the Z80 Plus card that I'm looking at looks a little different, uh, I bet I bet the software for that's going to work with this card. It looks like. All right, let's see if any of these other cards. All right, let's go back to screen share. So this is the Z80C card. Oh, that's for the Apple IIc. Okay, well that's not the right card. Oh, that's a neat one. That one's got RAM on it. Okay, well that's not it. All's Z Engine Z80. For some of these don't have. Nope, not a clone of that one. Nah, is the Checkmate Z. Wow, wow. They really wanted to point out to the rest of the world. They really wanted to point out to the rest of the world Z80. Yeah. Adam says I should sell my spare Z80 cards. I'm never going to use them. I think their product name is leaning on passive aggressive. Also, my card's not a clone of that one, so we can. Yeah, I call that a passive aggressive name. Yeah, Gutbomb says Z. Meanwhile, the rest of the world screaming Zed, Zed. Jack says I didn't think Z80 cards were so common. I'm not sure how common that particular card was, Jack. I I hadn't seen any of those on eBay. The, the place where I buy things I later regret. Well, all right. I'm pretty sure that Z80 card is a clone of the Applied Engineering one. Oh yeah, it looks like Franklin put RAM on their Z80 card. That's okay. I gotta see. Generic Z80. Ah, I was just waiting to. Adam says I got a Checkmate card recently, but it's a combo 80 column 1 MB RGB card. Jack says Z80 sounds like you're saying it with a French accent. Nope. I think I've seen that card on eBay. The SPAOE card. Okay, that's definitely a clone of Microsoft's card. I wonder if the Unitron card. Oh, that's definitely a clone of Microsoft's card. Unknown Z-80 card. Nope. All right, I'm gonna say that the card that came with the computer is probably a clone of the Applied Engineering card. So let's give a whirl with the Applied Engineering software, and then we'll pull the 2CI on the workbench. I mean, yeah, it's cool that I got the Z-80 card working, but really, I didn't really have much to do other than kind of show off the Z-80 card and kind of give the Z-80 a send off. And I mean, after all, the Z-80 card, the Microsoft Z-80 SoftCard, was like Microsoft's top selling product in 1980, I believe. What I've found, pretty much the sales of that card funded. I think pretty much the sales of the soft card funded Microsoft for quite a while. Oh, did I not put the... Okay, well, doesn't like that disc. Oh, okay. Doesn't like that disc. Okay, I think the Applied Engineering disk images I have are either corrupted or not compatible with the floppy emu. Bummer. Alright, looks like the only disk image I'm able to use is the Microsoft SoftCard CPM Disk 1 that I found. Huh. Okay. Well, this generic card works with the Microsoft CPM disk, so I'll keep that in mind. So if I do manage to get a what I would consider an appropriate 80 column card for computer, then maybe I'll put the CPM card back in it. But the thing is, you have to have an 80 column card to run CPM. And when I bought computer did not have an 80 column card installed. Computer only had it had a Saturn clone card, and it had that clone CPM card. It didn't have a disk controller. Oh, I think it had a generic printer card installed too, but no 80 column card, no disk controller card. So yeah, I don't know what 80 column card they used with the computer. In fact, I'm not even totally sure that they ran CPM on computer. For all I know, someone jammed that Z-80 card in computer for storage purposes, and maybe there was never an 80 column card in computer to begin with. That is a distinct possibility. But it is kind of a shame because, I mean, after all, well, I mean, it's the MasterCard, even if all you can run on it's like spreadsheets. But yeah, that CPM got, well, the Z-80 SoftCard for the Mac funded lots of Microsoft's future endeavors. Oh. Nah. All right. Just let me go grab the 2CI and we'll do a little rework on it. So yeah, Adam says my checkmate card came with a daughter board that turns the digital RGB into analog RGB. That's the same pinout as a C128. Oh, that's pretty neat. Gutbomb said I once tried CPM on a 128D and was like, okay, this works. Back to the C64 games. Yeah. Adam says, I have a few 80 column cards for the 2 Plus that have a ridiculous amount of chips on them. I think one of them is also a 132 column card. Neat. Yeah, Adam says, I think cards with LEDs are funny since the cards are inside the case. You can't see them. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I kind of was thinking that self. Yeah. Thomas Armstrong says Zulu 80 card. Yeah, seriously. All right, let me go get the 2CI. We'll get Apple IIe off the workbench. I'm looking for the 2CI. Oh, there it is. That's right. I had it on the bench for something the other day and hastily cleared it off. All right. Oh, well, that's convenient. All right. Hold on one moment here. Hmm. Okay, so we have the 2CI here. This is the board that Garth sent to me from the VCF Midwest Free Pile. Power supply I bought on eBay, and I'd inspected it, and it looked like it didn't need recapped, although I have a cap kit to recap it, because I quite honestly suspect it looked okay, but needs recapped. That's after having recapped another one of these Delta power supplies that looked okay until I really started looking at it. If my audio is crackly, then we're going to have to live with it, because the last time I tried to fix it, I had to restart the stream entirely. I don't see any obvious reasons as to why. I mean, okay. What is it about Justin getting up and returning that results in crackly audio? That's a good question, Jack. All right, one thing I could try, although I'm not going to unplug anything, I will try to restart the webcam. Okay, it actually restarted that time. So did the crackling go away? Maybe something about... Adam asked, did I actually put that useless screw back in the 2CI? Yes, I did, Adam. And the reason I did was so that I wouldn't lose the screw. But you are right, it is a practically useless screw, because yes, the power supply will hold the bracket down. Oh, we're crackly free. The crackling is gone. Well, okay. Hmm. Well, it is possible that maybe my filters... or more likely OBS is like overcompensating for silence. It's also possible that another thing that happens when I return... Could there be some static electricity my chair is generating, but I don't know why that would cause the static to be continuous. Unless I got some, like, bad cables somewhere. I'm hoping that switching to XLR microphone will fix this, but my XLR microphone won't be here until Tuesday, because I picked the slow shipping method to get some digital credits. The ironic thing is, when I bought the microphone, I actually bought two things, and one of the two items actually qualified to for me to redeem digital credits to buy it. I have yet to figure out what electronic products Amazon deems as electronic items and will actually let you apply your slow shipping bonus towards them, but kind of also one of those things that if I hadn't bought the other item I bought with the microphone, then I would be more willing to buy the Elgato face cam. But I bought a different Elgato product I'd been wanting for a while. Like, a long while. And it finally had a price drop down to $200. Because it's normally like $250, and I didn't really want to spend $250. So I saw it went down to $200, and I was like, okay, well, that's probably the best price I'm going to get on it. But I bought the Stream Deck XL. Notice I said Stream Deck, not Steam Deck. Stream Deck. Also, Steam, I believe Elgato had the name first, so for all I'm concerned, Elgato or Steam should have come up with a new name, different name for their handheld gaming device, because I think Elgato was first. Anyways, yeah, I've been wanting to get the bigger Stream Deck for a while because it has like all the buttons on it. Yeah, I know, I'm being silly. Yes, they are legally distinct. I was being silly because the names are very close. I mean, it's really annoying when, for example, you're reading the tech news and you see the announcement that so and so's come up with is coming out with Crisis for the Steam Deck, and you thought it was Crisis for the Stream Deck, and you get all excited because you want to play Crisis on it, and then you realize that you just mixed up the two products yet again in your brain, and that Crisis isn't coming to the Stream Deck because it's a Stream Deck, not a Steam Deck, you silly. Yeah, that gets old and annoying. Gutbomb says someone is going to port Doom to this Stream Deck. Yeah, probably. That'll probably be the only one where I'll read it and I'll actually mentally read the correct product the first time. All right. So, before I go too far in chip removal, so here is the Brooktree chip that I question whether it's working or not. And there's the replacement. This is a BT478 KPJ66. This is a BT478 KPJ80. I'm pretty sure the 66 and 80 are just speed grades. So I am fairly sure that that is going to be the correct chip, assuming it actually is a RAM DAC. Also, let me make sure I know where the... All right, so there's pin 1 and pin 1, and there's the dot on the board. All right. So I now am fairly sure that I will do the right thing here. All right, so I am going to hot air the old one off the board. but I will probably... I'll just solder the new one on. All right. Yeah, too bad there isn't room for a socket here, but there's not. Of course, the other thing is I don't have any sockets for this chip, but yeah, it'd be nice if there was room for one, but components around it are too close. Hmm. All right, that is not coming off as easily as I'd hoped. Therefore, I'm going to help it. Hi, Jeremy. Oh, I thought it should be coming off like gangbusters now, but that was low melt solder. There we go. Means I will have an extra cleanup step, but solder balls, anyone? All right. Yeah, Jack says just bridge all the pins, then power it up. Yeah, funny. Well, that would fix the video in the veterinary sense. All right. For those of you that just joined, this is not an Apple II, as you probably suspected. We had loads of fun with audio issues, and I got the Z-80 card to work. And then I decided to pull out this 2CI because I finally got some chips in that I'd ordered from Archintosh because the post office cared. All right, well, that looks pretty good. All right, I think I got the low melt solder off. And yeah, that right there is a reflection, not anything on the pads. All right, well, that looks pretty good underneath the chip. Yes, the We Care bag in all caps. Yeah, Jack says, sure, it's an Apple II, as in T-O-O, yes. This is my Mac 2CI that has the wonky video. So I'd ordered new RAM DACs. Because I don't think the problem is the buffer chips that that I guess give the RBV chip access to the first bank of memory. I don't think it's that. Because if those were bad, I would have either expected no video or memory test or memory failures and SAD max and whatnot. Because I would have thought that it would have either prevented the video system from reading memory in the first place, or would be causing random memory errors in all places. I think they used Orange Connex. Because it got sent to China, or from China, and made its way somewhere in the US, and then got sent by, like, USPS Mail Innovations or something like that. But basically, sometime back in late March, I think it was about March 26th, the package got transferred to the postal system in North Carolina, and then nothing for like 4 weeks. In fact, the seller's already reshipped me 2 chips, so those haven't arrived yet. I guess the post office cared enough that they decided I should have the original order before the new ones came in. But yeah. Alright, so we got the new chip. Or, well, new as in hopefully new old stock and not like fake. I don't know if this will fix the problem, because if it wasn't the RAM DAC causing the problem, then I expect I'll still have that weird video issue. But the RAM DAC is what's going to turn the contents of video memory into colors on the screen. And if you remember, when I was in 256 color mode, there was that one color that was shimmery. And that I'm fairly convinced that had to be the RAM DAC, even if other problems weren't. I'm pretty sure the shimmery video, the only thing that could explain that would be a bad RAM DAC. Because, I mean, it's the only thing that would make sense to explain that problem. Jack says, I ordered something from an eBay seller in Japan, and I'm pretty sure it came by boat. It might very well have. My LC475 I ordered from Japan, I'm trying to remember how it came, but I mean, I think the Postal Service ultimately, or did it come? Actually, I think it came FedEx. Now that I think about it. All right, I'm doing my usual soldering method for this chip. So for surface mount chips like this, I usually get opposite corners, and then I'll refine alignment. Also, given the all right. Actually, that looks like I lined up that chip like really. Wow. Okay, I think I lined that chip up like quite nice. I think I am going to. Did I get a good look at the traces under the chip while it was off? I mean, I didn't take a like under the microscope view of the traces, but I did look at them, and I didn't notice anything that appeared like it warranted a closer look. Because Lost audio. I don't know why I lose audio, but it seems like a large percentage of the time where you tell me I've lost audio, there is a warning about my audio bitrate. But I don't know why the audio bitrate falls to 0. That's what the warning is telling me. It's warning me that my audio bitrate is lower than the recommended. Or specifically, I think it says your audio bitrate of 0 is lower than the recommended blah, 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 blah. I don't know why it falls to 0. I will check all of these pins under a microscope for make sure I haven't shorted any. Yeah, there is something in my path that is giving my audio a variable bitrate. I don't know what it is because in OBS, I'm pretty sure I have it set to a constant bitrate. Now, granted, I have my bitrate set to a bitrate that is higher than YouTube's recommended, but I've never had a problem with it. Well, once I get the XLR microphone, I'll swap to my new streaming computer because I'm not going to try to install the XLR card in this current computer. In fact, I don't have a slot that I can put the XLR card in this current computer, so I will have to swap over. All right, well, I'm going to have to get this last one, and I won't be able to zoom in as much because I just don't physically have enough room on the bench to do it. Yeah, I don't know which ones are intentionally bridged without trying to read the schematics, and the schematics for the 2CI are a hot mess. I think they're the Beaumark schematics. And if you've ever used the Beaumark schematics, if you know, you know. They're like hand drawn and can be hard to read. Yeah, the XLR card is a PCIe card, but it uses an XLR microphone. I was trying to get USB audio out of the path because one theory was that I've got too many USB devices, and That is definitely a solder bridge there. Alright. Alright. Some of those pads don't look that great. Some of them are bridged. This is the part where I will try to touch them all up. Fuzzy tip. I mean, the Bowmark schematics are, yeah, they're frustrating. They're better than nothing, but they are definitely frustrating to use. That one there. Can't tell if that's flux or a solder bridge. Oh, okay. I think that's just the flux being reflective. Okay. I'll clean the flux off after I get all the pins sorted, and then we'll make sure there's no solder balls that we're hiding. That's definitely a bridge there. Still there. I think I might have gotten it. That could use a little bit of. Oh, pretty sure that's just a bubble in the flux. All right, and then the last side. Okay, that looks weird. Is that a? Oh, that's a. I think here. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of... Oh, there's a couple of vias there. Okay. Very good. All right. All right. I think it's decent. Let me get the flux off so I can double check it. All right. So now I've replaced the RAM deck, which is the part that I had decided was most likely causing the problem. Although, to be fair, it could be the RBV chip, which is this one here, but the RBV is harder to replace because it is a custom ASIC, whereas this Brooktree chip is a generic part. I guess at least it's good that Apple went for an off-the-shelf RAM DAC. I mean, they could have integrated it into the ASIC, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't, but maybe that would have cost too much, or maybe VLSI couldn't mix the two technologies. Because the RAM DAC is going to have analog circuits in it, so I don't know, maybe that's why it didn't get combined, is because that would have required VLSI to make it differently, and maybe that would have been too expensive, and Apple said, nah, we'll just use an off-the-shelf analog part. Because the off-the-shelf analog part would have been cheaper at that point if they couldn't have integrated it into the RBV chip. I mean, I guess theoretically it would have also let them use several different RAM DAC chips, because it's not like RAM DACs are... I mean, in some ways, RAM DACs are pretty much a generic part. Alright, so I think the speaker goes right here. There we go. You at least want to plug the speaker in. So we'll hear the chime. I'm only going to put in the 1 megabyte of memory, because we just want to see if we get a video image. I'm not going to bother putting in the blue SCSI, because we are just only going to see if we get a video image. Do need a power supply. Let's see here. Video cable. Video, it's not the video adapter I want to use. I don't know what I did with the other video adapter. Where did I put the video adapter? Oh, there it is. Don't know if this video adapter is set to something the 2CI will like, but we'll cross that bridge if we get there. Okay, we have... Hold on. Let me make sure the power switch is not in the position where it automatically turns on. There we go. Okay, and we got power. All right, we got video, we got power. And, all right. 3, 2, 1. We've got a chime. Do not have video. Okay. All right, I doubt you heard that. And you can't smell that. It's a moot point, gut bomb. Moot point. Because something has let out the magic smoke. Unfortunately, I only heard it and smelled it. I did not see it. And the interesting thing is how long it took to happen. Yeah, my audio filters probably... Yeah, shame on my audio filters. All right, let's see if we can figure out where the smoke came from. Something tells me that maybe that wasn't a real Brooktree chip after all, but yeah, I have probably... Well, I may have cooked my 2CI board. Interestingly enough, it happened right about the time when I was expecting to see video on the screen, which is kind of an odd coincidence. Well, the bottom of the board smells like isopropyl alcohol. I doubt that's the problem. Little after the RAM check. Oh, Gut Bomb did hear it. A little zap. Yeah. All right. I don't know what part of the board to zoom into. It did sound like it was something that was under the power supply. I think that's just a spot of the board that doesn't have solder mask on it. I don't know what it was. I didn't see it either. I heard... The computer didn't shut off when it happened, but I heard a pop, pop, pop. Well, that's kind of weird around the SCSI chip. check the fuses. Well, I don't know why the fuses would have blown. Because the fuses are on the SCSI and the floppy and the ADB, it looks like. I did not have keyboard plugged in. Also, that fuse is in... Okay, that fuse is still conducting. That fuse is good. That fuse is good. Not the fuses. Could have blown solder balls into somewhere. Well, that would be... Well, the most obvious explanation would be that it's the Brooktree chip that I, like, just replaced. The thing is, it happened when it tried to initialize the video. It didn't happen before. It was definitely... Okay, I think that's a nothing. It won't do further damage if I try to power it up again. Well, I guess not. I would really rather find what did it. Well, I guess it... Okay, I'll try another power up test, although I'm going to make sure that I can turn it off quicker. But I'm going to do something before I power it up. This isn't like solely a ploy to make my basement smell like smoke for the next 3 weeks, is it? I hope not. I guess to see if it chimes again is fair, but there is one thing I do want to check first. Remember my comment that I had checked that power supply and hadn't recapped it yet? I'm at least going to make sure that it doesn't smell like that's what smoked. And that I'm actually... I'm actually not convinced. Alright. Okay, we are going to take a slight little trip. Remember, I didn't I remember my comment that I didn't recap this. That could have been foreshadowing. Because I had inspected it and it looked fine, and I figured I'd recap it later. I do have a kit for it somewhere. I finally did order a kit for it, one of these last Console 5 orders, because I was like, I think my time's going to run out with this power supply. It is quite possible that I was closer to the correct answer than I even thought at that time. So let me see if I can't just pop this cover off real quick. At least I think I have one. I think this is the power supply I have one for. Yeah, this is like the annoying to take apart one. But let me just... It's a Delta. Yeah, it's a Delta. Which means I gotta take the plastic piece off. Alright, so if this power supply is... suspect... Well, actually, given the time, I'll probably just call the stream. Okay, I might see if I can get the... I mean, I have a couple other power supplies. I've got the one for my Quadra 700 project, but it's disassembled. It's been recapped, but it's disassembled. So I wouldn't be able to put it together in a time-efficient manner to use it, so it would be out. Okay, I might give a shot at pulling the one out of the Quadras... Not the Quadra, my Performa 600. Because it's recapped, so it should be fine. But it's kind of hard to get the power supply out of that case, so... Oh, great. There is a washer on that. Oh, no, that's not the washer. That's... Okay, I don't know... Oh, that's weird. I'm not sure exactly what just metal piece came off of that. Alright. I am assuming... Alright, so... USC... Well, I mean, I don't see... Alright, well, I don't see anything obviously wrong with this power supply. So, I guess... I guess it's okay to try it again. And I did find a metal bit in it that I wasn't expecting to find, but it was captured under a screw. I don't... All right. I think of this style power supply, I prefer the Aztec to the Delta. I think Aztecs are just maybe a little bit easier to. Despite the fact that the Aztec power supplies have the uh, silly daughter board, of course, so does this Delta. I want to say that Aztecs of this style are just slightly less annoying to work on. Although I doubt that's really saying a whole lot because they're both annoying to work on. I I think though it's slightly less annoying if it's the one I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah, I've never done one of the GE power supplies. The incoming the high voltage filter caps are 400 volts, so I at least give it that. All right. Okay, so I've got this set to power up as soon as I flip the switch on the power outlet on. I am going to back up. And all right, 3, 2, 1. No chime. Wah, 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 wah. Yep, the board's dead. We're not getting a chime now. That flash on the camera was way before the sound. Oh, how do voltages look on the PSU? Well, you did see the green light. I don't know how they look on the PSU, and I don't really have a. I don't have the power lead handy that I need to really test it. Um, I need to find a Rolex plug. I don't have a macrometer. No, I can't use a macrometer. Comes down to sometimes I just have to say that, well, I need to prioritize tools that can work on more models, like just a good multimeter, because a multimeter can work on anything. A macrometer only works on Macs with floppy drives, if I'm not mistaken. External floppy drives. All right. All right. So I'm in DC mode. Okay, 11.86 volts. And 5.09 volts. So I don't think the power supply is the issue. I bet. Weird flash on my webcam. I don't know. I mean, I got a LED light bulb that's kind of blinking over behind me. Maybe it picked that up. I have to go to the store and get one. I got to get a bulb to replace it. You might have seen the light bulb flash. All right. Yeah, I think my 2CI board is dead. I All right, I got a theory of what happened. I bet that Brooktree chip is fake, despite the fact that it seemed to be real because we did the acetone test and nothing really transferred. Jack says it's not dead, it's just in need of further repair. Oh, I wish I had optimism. Because my theory is this fake Brooktree chip took out the RBV chip, and that is required to boot. This board is dead. I'm sorry to be pessimistic. I don't really want to put the old one back on because it's covered in. Not until I figure out where the 3 pops came from and I smelled smoke. This this board is I'm not trying my luck with the second chip. I'm gonna pull this chip off and see if I can figure out where the mystery smoke came from. Because I heard it, I smelled it. Gotta find out if it's fake sometime. Well, okay, I feel it smells like I'm heating up whatever smoke. Hold on, I'm trying to put my nozzle on to concentrate the heat. Yeah, I'll probably put it away here very shortly. I mean, the thing is, I don't know that I want to start playing swap the chip multiple times to try to find the good chip and all the possible counterfeit ones. Because at some point I'll start ripping traces, and I'm not really good at fixing the trace damage on close traces. Also, I am really afraid I did actually fry something that's not as easy to replace as this chip. Alright, I do not know why. Okay, that is not the low melt solder I had. Where's that little piece of low melt solder? Is that it? Oh, that's not it. Oh, maybe I put it back in the tube. That's the low melt solder. Oh wow, and there's still enough heat in that board to melt the low melt solder. And yes, I'm probably bummed out because I hadn't even planned to work on this machine. I work on it and poppity pop pop, I caused damage. That was even after thinking I had done what I could to make sure this was a legitimate chip, and like maybe I'm gonna have to find maybe a PC video card or something that uses the same chip so I can test one before I put it on a Mac board. I don't know. Alright, well, I got the chip off. Well, I don't know that it exactly smells like smoke, but alright. Alright, let me get the low melt solder cleaned up here. Alright. Okay. Well, okay, so I got the chip off. We'll take a look at, like, the area around the chip now that it's off to see if there's any obvious signs of damage around it. I'm not going to put the chip back on. If there's no obvious signs of damage around the chip, I'm tempted to maybe try to power it up with that chip off. I don't know. I know the RBV chip is required for power up from what I've heard, but I don't know if the RAM DAC is. All right. Also going to try to clean the chip off that I just removed. I'm not going to remove the low melt solder from it, but I at least want to clean it enough so that if we take a look at it under the microscope, that if it was the source of the smoke, then theoretically there should be some outward sign. Theoretically. Okay. All right. So we'll take a look at the Gonna look like there's solder mask missing there. Well, in terms of traces that are under the RBV chip, not many. That looks really good overall. There's that capacitor that Okay. Here's like a diode, something or other. Mark D2. And then here's that capacitor there. Those don't look like. There's, I think, the SCSI chip. I mean, I don't see any signs that I got solder balls there. The resistor pack near the RBV chip. Yeah, I think there's flux on it or isopropyl, but that looks good. Here's the RBV chip itself. A little bit of low melt or something on it. That's the chip I really don't want to take off. Location 28. What? P1, location 28. I don't. Near 1028 of the RAM DAC. That cap doesn't look toasted. It looks like it's got flux on it, but I think the cap had flux on it. It looks weird. What is... Oh, that's a VIA. Yeah, I think that was flux on it. I mean, that's okay, Jeremy. I might have overlooked something. Alright. I don't see anything with the board. I think I may try a... I guess there's something on the bottom of the board. Alright, let's take a quick peek at the bottom of the board around the video port. Oops. Alright, I'll check 5 volts to ground and 12 volts to ground. Yeah, I don't see anything on the bottom of the board. Alright. Let me put it back in the case to make sure I'm not reading the correct things. Then we'll look at the chip under the microscope. Okay. So, wanted to check 5 volts to ground and 12 volts to ground. All right. Okay. Okay, 5 volts to ground is 16 ohms, which before you all say that's a short, these boards actually have a fairly low resistance on 5 volts. 16 ohms is correct. Interestingly enough, 12 volts. Okay, and 12 volts to ground appears to be fine. So there's not a short. No. So yeah, the one rail has a low resistance, which is normal, and the other one, I didn't read any resistance on it. And I'm thinking that camera flash you all saw was my webcam actually giving me one more reason why I should replace it with an Elgato face cam when I let myself buy a little bit more streaming hardware. Alright, I removed that chip. I don't know if the 2CI will even attempt to chime without that chip there. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Well, that's weird. Oh, wrong power cord. Wrong power cord. Alright, 3, 2, 1. And it chimed. Now, of course, the problem is I don't have a RAM DAC chip, so I don't even know why I bothered plugging in video. Alright, well, it's probably safe to say that it's probably a reasonable assumption that this chip here caused all those problems. It's probably, I mean, when I was heating this chip up to attempt to remove it from the board, I was smelling charred chip or something, so That is rather interesting that it looks like there is like two pieces of copper sticking out that end of the chip. And there. I mean, it is entirely possible that I haven't removed the low melt from it, so it's possible. What is up with that? Is that really It really does look like a little piece of copper inside the chip, doesn't it? It doesn't look right. Yeah, what does the original chip look like? That's a good question. I'll pull it over in a second. Before we pull the original chip over, let's take a look at this other one that I didn't solder on, but I thought something looked weird, and sure enough, there's a little piece. There's something sticking out of that chip on that corner. Yeah, Thomas says that looks really weird. That does. That does look really weird. Okay, so here's the original chip. Now, it's got a lot of low melt on it. Well, actually, it has... Well, it's got it too. Okay, well, I thought we had the smoking gun, but Capcom says it's a right back RAM deck. Anyways, this is the original one. I can tell because it's got a 1989 date on it. I mean, what a cheap package. Yeah, that's the original one. This is the one I tried to solder on. And I did do the acetone test. But maybe what I really need to do is take a look at how long... See if I can figure out how long... Oh, wait a minute. I think I just... Is that what I think that is? Is that what I think it is? Alright. I'm going to the stereo microscope. Yeah, that definitely that definitely looks like the plastic has bubbled up there. Okay, remember, I have not cleaned the low melt off this chip, so that little bit of metal there is probably from where I tried to remove it. But sure enough, yeah, that package would let in moisture. Thomas is right. But I think, yep, I'm pretty sure this chip popped. I'm thinking that's where the plastic bubbled up. Because that's run tweezers over it. I've got even better. The American Dental Association does not recommend, probably would not recommend these dental picks. I don't know what that was, but oh, sorry. I think I'm scraping paint off this chip. I think that was a bubble of paint. Yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble focusing, but I believe this chip is actually counterfeit. It is a very good counterfeit. I will give it that. It managed to pass the acetone test, but I think heating it up to remove it from the board has caused the paint to flake off. So there's where that black bubble was. And there's my pick. And you can see I've kind of picked up something off the chip. But I'm going to, I mean, I'm going to end the stream here fairly soon because it is like 12:30. But, all right. So it passed the acetone test before I heated it to remove it from the board. What will it do now? Interesting. looks like I picked up some flex from it, but I don't know. I'm having my doubts about the legitimacy of this chip. So here's the original. And it's subtle. The texture looks slightly different on this original chip. Can't place it. Although it also has flux and whatnot on it. Because in thinking that the chip was bad, I didn't clean it up or anything. I just set it to the side. Gutbomb says it's possible it was real but broken. Yeah, because actually it kind of does seem as if... I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was real but broken. I mean, I guess another time I do have another Brooktree chip. I guess I could try to put it on, but not tonight. But this one here... if I can find my red marker... Right. Oh, wrong one. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. I mean, it's probably dead. I can't see where it popped to produce smoke, but I mean, I smelled smoke. I don't see anything on the 2CI board, so I can only presume this chip is suspect. Alright, well, I think that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. So, good news is that the Apple IIe has a Z-80 card in it. 8 megs of RAM from Garrett's Workshop. Could have been a tiny bridge underneath I couldn't see. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it could have been many things. I guess I'll try another one later. Not tonight. Later. Anyways, yep. Apple IIe's good. Got the VGA sorted. Got the Z80 card in it. Garrett's Workshop upgrade. Booted CPM. Yay. The clone Z80 card that came with computer works. Yay. Now if only computer worked, then I had an 80 column card for computer. Then we took a look at the 2CI, tried to solder on the Brooktree chip, smoke, popping noises, removed it, and it chimes. But I'm not surprised at all that the 2CI doesn't boot without the RAM DAC, because, I mean, it probably does eventually check on the video circuit to see if the video circuit's working. And I suspect the RBV chip can probably detect the absence of a RAM DAC. So, yeah. I'm just trying to find my little piece of low melt solder, because I'll need that someday. So, the 2CI will... I gave up on trying to get my webcam to focus tonight. Anyways, that's it for tonight. I guess it was a half-successful evening. I hopefully will have the XLR microphone on Tuesday, although I don't know if I'll have enough time to actually set it up on Tuesday, because it depends on how much time I have between getting home from work and streaming. But hopefully, maybe by next Thursday, I will be using an XLR microphone. So next Tuesday's stream is going to be the one that I was going to do tonight. That will be the using eBay to repair my 2 Plus and computer. The reason that stream was delayed is because the item I bought from eBay that on Tuesday the Postal Service says was going to be delivered yesterday. Well, yesterday morning, the package made it to Gordonsville and then to Williamsburg. And for those of you not familiar with Virginia's geography, Williamsburg is on the East Coast. After all, yeah, East Coast. Near Virginia. Well, actually, I don't know how near Virginia Beach it is, but yeah. So that's why I swapped streams. And of course, all day today, YouTube's been serving up the wrong thumbnail for the stream for some reason. I don't know why. So I guess naturally, of course, I'd run into sound issues that require me to start a second stream. Yay for technical difficulties. But yes, so I'm pretty sure because that eBay item did make it back to Richmond. So hopefully that means that tomorrow or Saturday it will make it back to Gordonsville to then go out for delivery. Maybe. Fingers crossed. If it goes to Williamsburg again, then I'm going to know that, oh, well, I'll know that there's probably some extra sticker that has landed on the box for some reason, because, yeah, going to Williamsburg once, that's just someone tossing the box on the wrong truck by accident. Going to Williamsburg twice, yeah, there's an extra sticker on the box somewhere. Anyways, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I realize it's probably a very odd thing to think of using eBay to repair computers, but hey, I think I might have done it. Maybe. Or at least part of it. I think at least one of the computers will be fixed in some way, shape, or form. Anyways, that'll be Tuesday. And then Thursday, assuming that the delivery estimate I have is correct. Yeah, Gut Bomb says, we care. Exactly. Thursday is May. Will be May 2nd. So next Thursday, I bought something on eBay yesterday, the place where I buy things I later regret, because the price was right, even though it's missing the keyboard. But the price was right. The price was right. Yeah, found one that went cheap. But I have a goodie for the month of May to look at. That and that yeah, who's we? Yeah, that'd be the USPS apparently. So yeah, so if that comes in on Thursday, then we'll take a look at the new goodie that I'll be working on for the month of May. What I probably won't need to do every night in May. Yeah, knock on wood. But we'll take a look at it. I think it's repairable. I might have PCBs I need to order. We might have fun with this one. That's all I'm going to say. When it gets closer to a certainty of it's going to be delivered, I'll let you put 2 and 2 together from the thumbnail. But we'll have some fun with that, hopefully. Jack says, Macintosh. No. Nope. There's a different month with May in the name. If you go back about a year on my channel, you might put 2 and 2 together, but you still won't know which model. I'm hoping, though, it won't take 8 streams to get it to work, but yeah, famous last words. Anyways, yep, it is time for me to end the stream. I think it's been a good stream, even if I did produce smoke that I never conclusively pinned as that chip. Oh well. Yep. Sometimes you have successful streams, sometimes you have audio problems that culminate in trashing the USB subsystem on your computer, so you have to restart the whole thing. I think Jeremy guessed it. And on that note, I am going to thank you all for joining me tonight. Don't forget to smash that like button. Helps the YouTube algorithm know you like content like this. Hit that like button or that subscribe button because yeah, Jack and Jeremy have guessed it. Hit hit that subscribe button because, after all, computer. I mean, getting computer up and running again is enough because everyone loves a good computer that identifies itself as exactly what it is, computer. It, it doesn't mince words. All the other computers, they like have these fancy frilly names, and nope, it's computer. So he's hopefully, yeah, you'll want to see computer, Apple II Plus, get those back up and running. And plus the mystery machine that people are guessing and Capcom says, may the DVDs ever be in your favor. Yeah, if I get a box of DVDs from Washington State, I will be so mad on Thursday. I'll be so mad I'll probably be laughing. I think the seller's already tendered the box to FedEx, so if they did manage to find my channel, I don't think they'll be able to act on the idea I might have just given them. Anyways, so yes, we'll have fun with the mystery computer. If I remember, I'll order the PCBs I need tomorrow to make sure they get here in time. But yes, let's see here. Thanks for joining. And yeah, I'm going to sign off because it's time for me to go to bed. I do have to work tomorrow. So take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.